In the next few minutes, you're going to understand the deepest concept of Hermetic wisdom, the Absolute described in the Kybalion. And I'm going to explain it in such a clear and practical way that you'll never forget it, or confuse it with other philosophies. In this video, we're going to the heart of the Hermetic tradition and explain what the All truly means. This fundamental concept that all spiritual traditions mention, but few can explain clearly. I'm Noah, you're on the Hermes Code channel, and I've been studying Hermetic philosophy and ancient traditions for over 10 years. You're going to discover why our existential angst is actually a sign of awakening, how the ancients defined and considered what is real in a completely different way than we do, and most importantly, how this understanding can transform your worldview. Let's start by understanding why all of us, at some point, feel this fundamental revolt against things that pass. Then, we'll explore the attributes of the All, understand the cosmic hierarchy of spirit, soul, and body, and finally, discover how spiritual growth means identifying the thread that connects all beings in the universe. You know that feeling of emptiness that sometimes hits out of nowhere? That angst that seems to have no explanation. Well, according to Hermetic tradition, this isn't a problem. It's a sign that you've started to realize that you exist. But the problem is man's fundamental revolt against things that pass, that are ephemeral. It's as if our soul knew, intuitively, that there's something permanent behind the ephemeral but wouldn't accept this fact. And look, it's no wonder that anything can knock down a human being who doesn't have very solid foundations. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how we're afraid of death, but at the same time we're lovers of the transitory? We live chasing after things we know won't last. Superficial relationships, momentary pleasures, material achievements. It's an interesting paradox, isn't it? The Hermetic tradition teaches that all traditions speak about spirit, soul, and body for a reason. There's a hierarchy in the planes that make up reality. What exists in the present must find roots in the past, and what will be in the future will depend on the roots of the present. That's why human angst is, in fact, a search for substantial reality. Something that doesn't change, something that is truly real. Now let's get to the crucial point. What is real? This question may seem simple, but the answer has changed drastically throughout history. Modern man's criterion for believing in things is sensory. For us, the senses give reality to things. If you can see, touch, smell it, it's real. Done. End of discussion. But hold on, it's not that simple. For the ancient world, the criterion of reality was completely different. Eternity. The real is that which doesn't cease to be. If it ceases to be, it's like a shadow, it's merely a projection of something that is on a stage of space and time. Think of the movie theater analogy. You see the images on the screen, they seem real, but they're just projections of light. Reality is in the projector, not in the images that pass by. Similarly, everything we see in the material world are temporary projections of something permanent. According to the Kybalion, in Hermetic tradition, God is called the All or Absolute. And here's something fascinating. The All will always be impossible to be known completely by the finite human mind. You know why? Because our mind works by dividing the concrete world through adjectives, and this limits our understanding of the All. The mind won't encompass the All. It's like trying to put the ocean in a teacup. But we can see one aspect of God at a time to make understanding easier, without limiting it so as not to generate polarization. So, is this difference between the ancient and modern criterion of reality starting to make sense? If you're enjoying this explanation, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos on Hermetic philosophy. Now let's get to the heart of the matter. What are the attributes of the Absolute? The Hermetic tradition teaches us three fundamental characteristics that will change the way you see reality. First, the All is infinite in space. This means there are no gaps, no place outside of it. There's no outside to the All. It's as if you tried to leave the universe. Where would you go? There's nowhere to go, because everything is within it. Second, the All is infinite in power. There's no other power that submits it. There's no superior force that can control or limit it. It's absolute power, not in the sense of tyranny, but in the sense of completeness. Third, the all is immutable. It cannot cease to be what it has always been. It doesn't undergo transformations, doesn't evolve, doesn't degrade. It is the very stability of existence. And here comes the logical conclusion that will blow your mind. Considering all these attributes of the Absolute, therefore all that is finite, transitory, conditional, and mutable is not real. Got it? Everything you see around you, that changes, that has a beginning and end, is just a temporary manifestation, a projection of what is truly real. But hold on, don't go running off thinking nothing matters. The issue is more subtle. Life imposes itself on matter. It's what gives form to matter. Matter isn't capable of generating mind or life. It's like a computer program. Behind matter there's a subtle intelligence, the programmer who created the software, not the other way around. You wouldn't say the program created the programmer, right? That's why in Hermetic tradition, spirit is synonymous with infinitely living. It's the source of life, not its product. Now I'm going to give you an analogy that will crystallize this entire concept in your mind. The sutratma analogy. Imagine a pearl necklace. You have the pearls, which represent the body, matter, everything physical. Each pearl is individual, separate from the others. But there's a thread that runs through all of them, connecting them. The piece of thread that passes through each pearl represents the individual soul. It's what gives life and consciousness to each being. But, and here's the crucial point, the thread as a whole, which connects all the pearls, represents the spirit. Growing spiritually is exactly that. Starting to see the thread as a whole, passing through all beings in the universe. It's realizing that separation is only apparent, that there's a fundamental unity connecting everything. If you're harmonizing, becoming a better human being, it's a sign that you're evolving spiritually. Why? Because unity cannot generate division. The more you approach the perception of the all, the more you understand that we are all expressions of the same fundamental reality. It's like water drops that think they're separate, but that come from the same ocean and will inevitably have to return to it. Individuality doesn't disappear, but you begin to perceive that you're part of something much greater. Man, isn't this sutratma analogy incredible? Tell me in the comments. What moment in your life did you most clearly feel this connection to something greater? I really want to know your experience. So, how do we grow spiritually? How do we come to see the thread as a whole? It's from this vision of God as an all that the laws of the Kybalion are structured. Each Hermetic principle, mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, gender, all of them are ways to help us perceive this fundamental unity. But spiritual growth isn't just an intellectual process. It's a change in perception. It's as if you spent your whole life looking only at the pearls of the necklace, focusing on the differences, the separations, and suddenly you started to perceive the thread. You don't stop seeing the pearls, they're still there, each with its unique beauty. But now you also see what connects them. And this perception changes everything. When you grow spiritually, you approach unity. It's not that you become God or anything like that. It's that you begin to realize you were never separated from it. The separation was just an illusion created by our limited perspective. It's like when you were a baby and thought your hand was separate from your arm, which was separate from your body. As you grew up, you came to realize that everything was one thing. The same happens on the spiritual plane. And here's the secret. This perception isn't an end in itself. It's the beginning of a more harmonious life, more connected, fuller of meaning. Because when you see the thread that connects all beings, you can no longer hurt anyone without feeling like you're hurting yourself. Imagine what happens when you start living with this perception of the all. Your relationships become deeper, your problems gain a different perspective, your life acquires a greater purpose. You come to understand that each challenge is an opportunity to grow spiritually, to get closer to this perception of unity. Existential angst transforms into conscious seeking. Fear of death dissolves because you realize that what is real in you was never born and will never die. Your journey to understand the Absolute begins now. Every moment of silence, every act of kindness, every effort to harmonize is a step toward perceiving the thread that connects all beings. If this video helped you understand the concept of the Absolute from the Kybalion, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos about Hermetic principles. And tell me in the comments, which insight from this video impacted you the most? Write a commitment statement to this teaching, something you'll take into your life starting today. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and remember, you are part of the all. See you in the next video. My name is Noah and this was my contribution today.